Hello, welcome to this 20-minute everyday Vinyasa flow practice. Starting at the top of your mat standing, bringing the big toes to touch, keeping a small gap between the heels. Arms down beside you and just turning the palms to face the front. Coming into our Tadasana, our mountain pose, as you softly close the eyes. And just thinking of sending your energy down into the feet. Holding the energy in the soles of the feet before sending it deep into the earth, just grounding you, planting your body physically into this moment and mentally into presence. We inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky, interlacing the fingers, turning the palms up to the sky, taking an inhale, and as you exhale, just leaning over to the left side, finding a side stretch in the right side body. Inhale to center, and exhale, leaning to the other side. Inhale, center. And exhale, leaning over to the left side, and this time soft bend into the knees as you release the arms all the way down, drawing a big circle with the arms, taking the circle in the opposite direction, soft bend into the knees, leaning over to the right and all the way round and back up to the sky. And using your next exhale to separate the fingers and swan diving over the legs, coming to find your forward fold, crown of the head heavy. We'll inhale to halfway lift, finding one long spine. And exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale to halfway lift, one long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale this time as you fold, soften into the knees so you can step one foot back than the other to find your plank. Shoulders stacking over the wrists. And lowering the knees down to the mat, bending the elbows in towards you to lower the chest and the chin. We inhale, just lifting the upper back for baby cobra. And exhale to release, pressing the weight back, tucking the toes. As you sit the hips back towards the heels, passing through an active child's pose, just for a few breaths. Shifting the weight slightly forwards into the hands to lift the hips high, downward facing dog. And feeling free to bend one knee then the other, taking any movement that feels good in your body. And finding stillness now in your down dog. Begin to take some small steps forwards all the way to the top of the mat, hands to the shins for one long spine halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soft bend into the knees, rolling all the way up to standing, reaching the arms up to the sky, and exhale to seal the hands down to heart center in prayer. And just take a moment here to set an intention for the rest of your practice. A thought or feeling, or even a word that you'd like to come back to. Inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to find your plank, shifting the weight forwards, keeping the knees lifted this time as we lower the body down through chaturanga. Inhale, with knees lifted, we take our up dog, or knees down for cobra. And using your exhale to tuck the toes, lifting the hips high, downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep breaths. Inhale, lifting the gaze up to the top of the mat, small steps forwards all the way. And inhale, halfway lift fingertips to the shins. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soft bend into the knees, rolling up through the spine, coming all the way up to the sky. And exhale to seal hands down to heart center. Pausing for a moment, maybe coming back to that intention. We'll shift the weight into the right foot and just floating the left foot all the way back, planting it down at 45 degrees. Bending the right knee over the right ankle, we inhale, lifting the arms up to the sky, warrior one. Keeping the chest and the hips facing forwards, biceps to the ears. Taking one more inhale. And together we exhale to release the arms wide, coming over to find your warrior two. Just opening the hips and the chest to the side, keeping the gaze forwards, and releasing the front elbow on top of the right knee, reaching up and over with the left arm for extended side angle. Staying here, or option to take the fingertips down to the mat just in front of the ankle and maybe lengthening that top arm even more. Holding here for 4 rounds of breath. And allowing the top arm to pull you all the way back up to warrior two, straightening that front leg. We'll flex the front toes up towards the sky, coming up onto the heel. Taking an inhale, and as you exhale, tipping all the way back to a reverse triangle. Maybe the left hand settles onto the thigh, or maybe wrapping it round the back for a bind. Gazing up to the sky if you can. And releasing the front foot down to the mat as we windmill the arms, reaching forwards and tipping all the way down to Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Right hand can be on the shin, the ankle, or even fingertips on the mat today. Staying exactly where you are and just taking the gaze down to the front foot, releasing the top arm round to frame that front foot, pivoting on the back toes for our lunge. Planting the hands into the mat and stepping back to find your plank, taking your vinyasa, we lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking 4 deep breaths. And taking small steps all the way forwards to the top of the mat, hands to the shins, one long spine halfway lift, and exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rolling all the way up to standing, reaching your arms up to the sky and sealing the hands down to heart center in prayer. Shifting the weight over into the left foot this time as we float the right foot all the way back, planting it down at 45 degrees, warrior one. Left knee stacking over the ankle, reaching the arms up to the sky, palms facing in towards each other. Finding one more inhale. And exhale, releasing the arms wide, warrior two. Dropping the left elbow on top of the left thigh. Reaching the right arm all the way up and over for extended side angle. And maybe even taking left fingertips down towards the mat, just as an option. And finding where you want to hold for 4 rounds of breath. Using this time to come back to presence, maybe even to come back to your intention. On your next exhale, allowing that top palm to pull you all the way back up to your warrior two, straightening the front leg as you flex the toes all the way up to the sky, coming up onto the heel, and tipping all the way back to reverse triangle. Right hand can rest on the thigh or wrapping it around the back for a bind. Feeling the opening in the chest and the left side body, a stretch down the backs of the legs. Just slowly dropping the left toes back down to the mat, releasing the arms wide, tipping 2 inches forward and all the way down to Trikonasana. Taking 2 more deep breaths here to pause. And just turning the gaze down to the left toes. Soft bend into that left knee so it stacks over the ankle as you release the hands to frame the front foot, lifting in your core, pressing into the hands to step back to plank. Taking your version of Vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. We'll take 4 deep breaths here, just to even out the sides. We'll inhale, reaching the right leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. And lifting up high on the left toes to help you draw the right knee all the way forwards, planting the foot down on the outside of the right hand. We'll reach the right arm up to the sky, taking a lunge twist. And releasing the back knee down to the mat, untucking the back toes, sinking the hips down, staying here, or maybe kicking the left toes in towards you and reaching behind with the right arm to catch the foot in the hand together for a quad stretch. Releasing the foot and the hand as you take the hands to the mat and dropping down to the elbows or staying on the hands for our lizard stretch. Feel free to drop that right knee out to the sides, coming onto the blade edge of the foot, just as a variation. A moment to notice where your mind is at right now. And gently releasing back up to the hands if you're on the elbows, tucking the back toes, stepping all the way back to your plank. Take your vinyasa, flowing all the way back up to downward facing dog. Or inhale, reaching the left leg up to the sky, this time for three-legged dog. Enjoying this stretch for a moment. And then coming up high on the right toes to help you draw the left knee towards left elbow, planting the left foot down to the mat on the outside of the left hand. Dropping the back knee, releasing the back toes as you reach up high with the left arm for a lunge twist, sinking down into the hips. Staying here, or maybe kicking the back toes up in towards you, maybe even reaching behind to catch the foot in the hand for an extra quad stretch. And taking the left hand onto the mat, staying up high on the hands or maybe dropping down to the elbows, closing down the eyes, just feeling into your body, into your hips, using your breath to ease the tension in the muscles. And coming back up to the hands, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee, and this time with hips high, stepping back to downward facing dog. We'll rise up high on the toes to drop the knees down to the mat, untucking the toes as you sit back onto the heels. We'll take the right hand over onto left knee and releasing left fingertips behind, or maybe the back of the hand just rests on the lower back. Finding a gentle twist. Using your inhale to lift the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, just releasing the twist back to center. We'll switch sides, left hand onto right knee, right fingertips behind you. Maybe the back of the hand rests on the lower back, or even a full bind with fingertips resting on the left thigh as an option. Gazing behind you and finding that length in the spine as you inhale. And on your next exhale, releasing the twist all the way back to center. Placing the hands down on the thighs. Closing down the eyes. Maybe taking the hands to prayer at heart center and bowing the chin down. Taking this moment to honor yourself, honor this practice, honor this time that you've given yourself to shift the energy in your mind and your body, knowing that this is a practice to return to. Thank you for joining me here today. Namaste.